If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, yeah, a normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what?
Jake Paul is unequivocally the most successful fighter in history 4 years in. No one comes close. No one.
The fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis is reportedly locked in. Jake has labeled it an exhibition and claims most of the details are already set. The showdown is expected to take place right after Davis finishes his rematch with Lamont Roach. The news is spreading fast, and fans are hyped to watch these two headline a massive event. Promo content is already being developed, and both teams look ready to roll as soon as the rematch is done.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. And so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that like we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like, if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure. Like I said, big events. And, you know, when we had announcement videos filmed for Canelo and for Gervonta, like both filmed and fully edited. And my team went into the streets to ask people what they thought of me versus Gervonta. Every single person was like, Gervonta would kill Jake. He's going to die, all of this stuff. And so just proving people wrong and changing the narrative and showing people that I'm a better boxer than all of these so-called pound for pound is just fun for me.
Jake Paul's victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was a huge moment in his boxing career. That win pushed him into the top 15 cruiserweight rankings, an impressive feat for someone who started as a social media star. Now, champions can't brush him off so easily. With his new status, they might have no choice but to take him on to defend their belts and credibility. Jake's quick rise from exhibitions to becoming a real contender proves how far he's climbed in a short time.
So now that Jake Paul won his fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he's apparently ranked top 15 cruiserweights in the world. And apparently, I guess now, world champions are able to fight voluntarily to defend their championship against Jake Paul. Which, if I'm being honest, that's kind of crazy, bro. Isn't that crazy? Right? You're telling me you fought somebody that's not a natural cruiserweight, right? And now you're automatically ranked top 15 and you can fight a couple of world champions and it makes sense. Not that I think he beats any of them. I'm going to be completely honest. I can't see it, bro. If Jake ends up beating somebody, yo, shout out to him. He finessed his way to the fucking top and a world champion and really like cemented himself into the history books. But the way that he boxes, he's just very sluggish. It's kind of slow. You know, I think any cruiserweight world champion, even Badu Jack, will defeat him. And I actually don't even understand why he even wants to fight Anthony Joshua, besides the bag, obviously. But what do you guys think, though? This whole shit has gone crazy.
The talk of Jake Paul fighting Gervonta Davis has been floating around the boxing world for some time. Jake, never one to shy away from the spotlight, used the post-fight press conference at Mike Tyson's event to call Davis out directly. It wasn't just hype, it showed he's serious about challenging elite fighters. Ongoing discussions between both camps have kept the momentum going, and the potential matchup is fueling even more buzz and speculation across the sport.
You were an interested observer on the Netflix event, Paul versus Tyson.
Why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Is Jake Paul someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah. Tell him, this is my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down.
I don't know if Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Tyson Fury, known for speaking his mind, weighed in on the potential Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight. He pointed out that while most people automatically see Tank as the superior fighter, it's worth asking what really separates him from Jake. Fury gave Jake credit for his promotional skills, saying Paul knows how to turn every fight into a major spectacle. From selling out arenas to pulling huge pay-per-view numbers, Jake's influence stretches far beyond boxing ability. Fury's take underscores a modern reality. Being a star today is just as much about business and entertainment as it is about talent in the ring.
Fantastic event. Anyone who don't think it's a fantastic event is jealous. Who's better, at Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, yeah, a normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down. You know what I mean?
Jake Paul's rise goes beyond his performances in the ring. He's changed the way boxing connects with modern audiences. Using social media, brand deals, and partnerships with platforms like Netflix, he's built a powerful connection with fans. His strategy has created new opportunities for other fighters and helped bring attention to boxers who often get overlooked. Even seasoned pros admit Jake has a real gift for building hype, filling arenas, and making every fight feel like a major event.
Jake Paul is unequivocally the most successful fighter in history 4 years in. No one comes close. No one. You couldn't list one that comes close, including Brock Lesnar if you include his WWE career. 4 years in terms of what he's done in terms of box office, pay-per-view, impact, helping other boxers, because he had platform, he had awareness, and he's got the focus and discipline to drive with it.
When fans bring up a possible Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight, some compare it to Logan Paul's exhibition with Floyd Mayweather, but there are major differences. Jake has taken boxing more seriously than his brother, showing real skill and steady improvement. He also has a size advantage over Davis, which makes the matchup even more interesting. With better technique, power, and the ability to stay calm under pressure, Jake's not just putting on a show. This fight could be a true test for both men and a legit contest inside the ring.
So a Tank Davis versus Jake Paul exhibition match was going to take place after the Lamont Roach fight, until Tank drew with Roach, leading to a rematch. Now, I'm going to say the unpopular opinion here, but the size difference would have been way too much. I mean, even if Tank brought Jake down to 190 or 200 pounds, he would have still been way too big. I mean, no matter how good a lightweight is, they would have almost no chance against a cruiserweight or heavyweight ranked top 200 in his division. And I'm sure people are going to bring up Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, but Logan is just not a good boxer relative to Jake. You know, Jake's been training for a couple years, he's had over 10 pro fights, and Mayweather was also junior middleweight in this fight, not a lightweight like Tank. But that being said, I'm glad Tank and Jake isn't happening. You know, it would have been a fun spectacle, but I'm not the biggest fan of the exhibition stuff. And instead now Tank and Roach will be rematching in June. You know, the first fight did a little over 260,000 pay-per-view buys, which isn't bad in this market. Roach absolutely deserves a second fight, so I do think the rematch will do far more numbers. And as for Jake, I want to see him fight big-name boxers around his weight class. You know, the Tommy Fury rematch, for example, he's undefeated. The first fight did a little over 800,000 pay-per-view buys. He's around the same age range, so that's the fight I want to see, not the exhibitions. But let me know what you guys think.
The debate around whether Gervonta Davis would actually take a fight with Jake Paul is still going strong. Many believe that as a prize fighter, Tank should chase the biggest paydays, making a bout with Jake seem like a smart move. But his rumored refusal to accept Shakur Stevenson's offer from Turki Alashik, reportedly because he didn't want to fight in Saudi Arabia, has some fans questioning his choices. Now people are wondering if Tank is being too picky about who and where he fights, and whether a clash with Jake will only happen on his exact terms.
I've been told y'all Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a prize fighter. I know a lot of you guys say, well, he doesn't fight for belts, he doesn't fight for legacy, he fights for money. He's a prize fighter, Jerry. And I'm going to assume a prize fighter is a guy who is solely making fights based off of cash reward. He'd rather fight a bum for $50 million than fight a guy who's experienced for $10 million. That is what a prize fighter would be. Actual definition, a professional boxer who competes in matches for money prizes. So let's take a look at it. Turki Alashik has declared he wants to make Tank versus Shakur. He says, my plan for Shakur is this fight. He's referring to Floyd Schofield, then William Zepeda, and then let's see if Tank wants to be in our show. Tank's not going to fight Shakur. He's not going to fight him in Saudi Arabia. So now that we've established Tank isn't a prize fighter, because if he was, his career resume would look a whole lot different, then we must ask, what is Tank's goal in boxing? I'll tell you right now, it's easy money. Tank is the type of guy, he'd rather fight, let's say, 4 Lamont Roaches for $20 million than fight 1 Shakur Stevenson for $80 million, which is fine. But I'm tired of people saying, oh, he's a prize fighter, that's why he's not taking these fights. He's not a prize fighter. The biggest money fights is Haney, Ryan, Teo, Shakur, and Loma. He's not even going to take half of those fights. So please, guys, all my Tank fans, all my guys who claim Tank is a prize fighter, that's why he's not fighting for the belts, please stop it. This guy's not a legacy fighter. He's not a prize fighter. He's just a guy who enjoys easy paydays. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Just stop misleading people with your comments.
Gervonta Davis, who normally fights below the lightweight limit, has often been encouraged to move up in weight for tougher challenges. Facing Jake Paul would be a huge leap. Jake fights around 190 to 200 pounds, far beyond Davis's usual class. For Tank, this wouldn't just mean gaining weight. It would demand a full shift in training, game plan, and preparation. The size gap alone would make this a completely different kind of fight, unlike anything Davis has experienced in his career.
Okay, this is my personal take on it. I've been saying for a while that Gervonta Tank Davis needs to go up to 140 and challenge himself. Now, a lot of the fanboys, you Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys, called me a hater for that because y'all just don't get it. And I don't really blame fanboys. Fanboys are followers. So when you hear somebody talk with his own mind, talk like a leader, they're immediately unidentifiable. So you guys see him as a hater, all right? The truth of the matter is, Gervonta Tank Davis is a big-time predator. He's a big-time predator who needs to hunt big-time game. There are fighters who are just generational talents, right? And those fighters, they must get it all, have it all. And I know a lot of you guys will see it as money, right? Because y'all just not made of that stuff. And I've been trying to say it in live streams. I've been trying to say it in videos. I've been talking about boxing in a way from a perspective of big time fighters, big time legacy, and what makes a warrior from when they're small. Gervonta Tank Davis has been a beast for as long as he remembers. From a little kid, he's been a beast.
Even with his fame and talent, Gervonta Davis isn't ranked in the top 10 pound-for-pound lightweights right now, which surprises many who view him as one of the best in the division. This has led to debate about whether a fight with Jake Paul would boost or damage his career. Some think it could be a new challenge that shines a bigger spotlight on him, while others worry it might seem more like a spectacle, distracting from his reputation as a serious boxer.
Gervonta Davis is not a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter right now. He's arguably not even in the top 10 pound-for-pound right now. Despite how cool this picture is, it does not get him into the pound-for-pound list. Even though we could say that he could probably beat everyone in the lightweight division, even though I think he loses to Shakur, he hasn't done it, and he probably isn't gonna do it. But what would it take for him to get to the #1 pound-for-pound spot? Let's go over what he would have to do to reach #1. Well, first off, he'd obviously have to go undisputed in the lightweight division. And even though that would be great, I think that only cracks him like #4. Because the only one in the top 10 pound-for-pound in the lightweight division is maybe Shakur. But realistically, he's gonna have to do more than just go undisputed in the lightweight division. So obviously, he'd have to go up to 140 because there's no way he's making 130. And then he'd have to beat a dude like Teofimo, and he'd probably have to beat Devin Haney as well. And I think that could probably get him the #1 spot. But yeah, we can sit here and say Tank is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters right now, which I think he's one of the most talented, and I think he could do most of what I said. However, hypotheticals aren't going to work with pound-for-pound listing.
Jake Paul has said that any fight with Gervonta Davis would only take place after Davis completes his rematch with Lamont Roach. That fight is a big moment for Tank, so it makes sense that he's fully focused on it right now. Once that's done, both camps can seriously explore the matchup everyone's been talking about. Fans are eager to see if it actually happens. Jake's recent victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has earned him respect in boxing circles, making the potential fight even more thrilling.
Me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
How real, or what was to it with you and Tank actually being a thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
Shane Mosley praised Jake Paul for his impressive movement and strong performance, recognizing the hard work he showed in the ring. On the other hand, Mosley criticized Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s style, calling it strange and even hinting that it might be time for Julio to retire. The contrast in their performances after the fight highlights Jake's progress in boxing and Julio's ongoing struggles.
It's Fight Up TV. Being joined with Sugar Shane Mosley, Jake Paul, getting a unanimous decision over Chavez Jr. What are your impressions, Shanes, of how the fight went and how, especially, Junior fought?
Well, first of all, I think that Jake Paul fought a good fight. You know, he moved around the way he's supposed to, throwing great punches, and for the experience he had, he did fantastic. Junior, on the other hand, he didn't throw any punches until the third or fourth round or something. He was just kind of walking forward, and I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was weird to see that type of fighting, but anywho, that's not Jake Paul's fault. So Jake Paul did what he needed to do, and he won, and he looked good.
Where do you think Junior goes from here, in your opinion, Shane?
Junior needs to retire from here.
Junior needs to retire.
He needs to retire. I mean, if you can't throw any punches in 2, 3, 4 rounds, you need to retire. I mean, if you can't, what are you doing? What are we doing? You just living up. Basically, you're living off your father's name. Yeah. That's basically what you do, because you didn't even fight until the last round, maybe last 2 rounds, and threw some punches, and you had some success when you threw some punches. It's the weirdest thing.
After his win, Jake Paul sent a strong message to his critics. Many doubted his toughness and ability to face serious opponents, but he proved them wrong. He stood firm, absorbed hits, and still secured the victory. This wasn't just another win. It showed how much he's grown as a boxer. No longer just a celebrity trying boxing, Jake earned respect and silenced many of the doubts about his skills.
Between you and Cesar Chavez Jr. tonight. Now, in round 9, the heat really turned up. Did you feel the Mexican power that he promised, or do you feel like he didn't perform the way you thought that he would?
No, yeah, he brought a hard fight there at the end, and that's that Mexican warrior style. I don't know how he was eating all those punches, to be honest. My hands low-key hurt from his face, and so respect to him. He had good cardio, and he came on strong at the end. He's a very, very strong guy, had a lot of power, but people underestimate my chin and my ability and my toughness.
Jake, Jonathan Agger of Pro Boxing Fans. During the week, you had a viral interview with Piers Morgan where he said that he didn't think that you would beat Chavez. He felt like when you fight a former world champion, you'll come unstuck. What did you prove to not only him, but other people that have criticised you?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, so people can sit behind their desks and sit on their TV shows and say a lot of things about my career, but everyone's tuning in, everyone's watching, and I just continue to win.
After Jake Paul's strong win, Rayo Valenzuela, an active fighter with deep knowledge of the sport, openly congratulated him. Valenzuela said Jake's performance showed he belongs in the top 15 or 20 in his weight class. Praise like this from someone inside boxing is a big deal for Jake's career. It proves he's no longer viewed as just an outsider, but as a serious competitor who's earned respect through hard work and real achievements.
To the fight.
Oh, great fight. Julio's back after all he's been through. So, I tip my hat off to him. It's not easy, especially through, when life throws at you sometimes. But, it was a good fight.
What'd you make of how Jake Paul looked and fought?
He's doing his thing. Jake Paul's looking good. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Do you think he's ready to, fight, maybe a top 15, top 20?
Sure, yeah.
So I guess where does Junior go from here, in your opinion?
It's up to him. He can retire if he want, or he can have another, fight like this. Fight a YouTuber or something. Yeah.
In terms of you, Rayo, when can we see you back in the ring?
I'll be back in the fall, hopefully.
The fall?
Yeah.
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates coming soon.